3, 2, 1, video game. Hello everyone, I'm Punchi. This is Silent Hill for the grand finale. You have to wait. You have to wait to skip that cutscene. It saves a second. You don't skip it straight away or you lose time. That's the cutscene tech in the intro. It's okay, so the goal of the first minute is to die. We have to reach a point where that's possible. We have to play the game very badly, but unfortunately the game resists this at many opportunities. That is the way of things.
Where are you going? Hey, wait! Stop!
Okay, so time for the only trick in the run I ever bothered to, find, because I've ran this game for 6 years and have no worthwhile contributions. If you hit this cutscene on the corner, Harry will run towards the alleyway, whereas if you hit it, inside the corner, he'll, run out of it, so he runs forward, so you save time. Genius, that. It saves, a second total. That's the only thing I've ever found in this game in 6 years of playing it. I'm great at this. It's brilliant. Turn the corner, smash your face into the gate. So far, so good. Okay, so Silent Hill 1 is a game using that classic tank control style of gameplay, but even by tank control standards, Silent Hill 1 is, really awkward. Because you have, momentum. It's a momentum tank control game. You have to give yourself, braking distance if you want to stop, and you need to, take turns at a certain angle or you'll crash into the wall. Okay, now we can die. We've arrived at a place. We must engage multi-leg drifting in order to die this, in accordance with this weird racing metaphor. We need to drift into an enemy, and hopefully they kill me. Nope, that guy just, ate shit on the pavement there, which is fantastic. Hit me, thank you. Okay, we are now dead. Successful. We've died successfully. Let's put this gun. Normally I would not pick up this health drink, but this is a marathon, and it's right there. It's actually really hard to avoid picking it up. Hit that quick turn. Quick turns are normally quite difficult to do, because if you just press both your strafe buttons together, you have a 2 or 3 frame window where it will give you a strafe, but if you hold down the button that makes you walk before you do it, it makes the frame window much more lenient. So you can get consistent quick turns like that. It took 3 years for someone to figure that out. Imagine. Okay, so first order of business, kill this guy. He either takes 4 shots or 6, it's totally random. Every enemy in this game has random health. And it rolls within a certain range. There's a lower bound and an upper bound for how many hits it'll take. And most of that knowledge was not known to us until, we started looking up Japanese strategy guides and started translating that. Actually, a lot of new stuff about this game has come to light in the past year or so, in rough concordance with an increase in my ability to read Japanese. Funny that. Ooh. I resist natural framing, I'm too short. No, gotta turn. Eyes on the game. Okay, so the goal of this segment, we gotta get 3 keys. Normally you'd do a bunch of stuff around town, reach a house, and then you find a map that's the keys to the eclipse, and then you find 3 keys. But I already know where they are, and they're in the game world already. You don't gotta activate a spawn or anything. So if you know where they are, you can just go get them. So unfortunately that entails wandering around Silent Hill and kind of avoiding interacting with most enemies. If we're lucky, this is the fun part about Silent Hill, is that if it goes well, nothing happens. Because there are enemies around, and enemy AI in Silent Hill 1 is something I've never been able to figure out all that well. Sometimes enemies just lose interest for seemingly no good reason. This guy, he's up to something. Can I hear him? I don't think I hear him. Nah, I don't hear him. He didn't have interest. Didn't care. Sometimes they pursue you with, astonishing aggressiveness. Sometimes they just do what that guy does, and he's like, hey, what's up? And then he's just on his way. He doesn't care. He doesn't care to pursue you. It's random how enemies behave, and that actually makes, a certain late-game trick a complete pain, because it relies on enemies doing certain things, and you cannot rely on enemies to do anything. You can't rely on them to not do things, you can't rely on them to do things. It's, see, this guy, he doesn't even care. He's not even standing up. He's just sitting there. So is he gonna get up now? Okay, he's gonna get up, but he's gonna fly into a wall. Alright, peace, fam. See ya. So a note on enemy AI, actually. Every single time you enter a room in this game, so like a loading screen or whatever, every enemy facing direction is randomly determined. All of them. And then they start moving in that direction. Randomly. Which means nothing in this game is a free lunch. But it also means you can sort of manipulate enemies to behave in a way that you want, because they will generally be facing in a certain range of directions, but there's no, like, 100% guarantees in this game. If they're facing the direction that sucks and just happen to walk into you while you're trying to do something, it's like, oh, well, that's fun. So even the most consistent of strategies in this game have, like, a 1% failure rate. There's just... There is much opportunities for this has not happened before, or this has not happened in many years, because, frankly, with how long I've been doing this, there's actually very little I haven't seen at this point. Although I did have an enemy fall through the floor, like, yesterday, and I definitely haven't seen that before. Okay, so we found the note. You can't get the key in the doghouse that Harry does not recognize as a doghouse, because apparently there's no dogs around, until you read the note. So you can go in here. And normally this is where you'd find the map to the keys of the Eclipse, but I've already got the keys of the Eclipse. So I'm going to try and turn very slightly here. Okay, hit the corner. If you run into that at full sprint without the very slight angle adjust that I did there, Harry will just faceplant the door and not open it. So doors in this game are fun. It is a source of much consternation for runners of this game that doors in this game don't behave uniformly whatsoever. Some doors you can run into with reckless abandon and the game doesn't mind. Some of them you need to approach at a corner angle, otherwise it won't open. Some of them just don't work ever, for no matter what you do. Some of them are random. Some of them you can just, like, the act of opening a door may or may not occur if you run at it and mash the button. I don't know what's going on with those. Like, I don't know if it's a frame rate thing, I don't know if it's a precise angle thing. I have no clue, but it's essentially random. So, like, Silent Hill 1, a technical marvel that pushed the boundaries of environment design and detail for the PS1. Also a game where doors sometimes just don't work. Like, truly, these were the pioneering days of gaming. So approaching the school, which is sort of like the first main area of the game. I call them dungeons, I probably shouldn't. It feels very Zelda-y. Structured like that, though. These dogs, they don't hit, they're harmless. I, like, reflexively, like, twitch my right hand to hit a split key. There are no splits here, this is a marathon. It's gonna, like, slam the keyboard. I wanna press buttons. So this guy, he ain't even close. Okay, so this one you need your light on. Turn slightly to the left, turn slightly to the right, and then revolve around. See, he didn't hit me. That's what you want. That's the manipulation right there. That manipulates his movement in such a way that he just can't quite go for the grab because he's not facing the right direction. That's not perfectly consistent, but it is mostly consistent. But that's an example of how having the light on to attract enemy aggro can actually be to your benefit. Because obviously enemies react to the light, they react to sound in different ways, etc., etc. These enemies are very sensitive to light. They don't really react very much to sound. They don't appear to have ears, actually, so I guess that makes sense. So like this one, on the way back, you want the light off, because then, provided he's not, like, facing exactly the wrong way, you can pretty much always slip through the right side. And unfortunately, you have to do the puzzle here in order. You have to get the puzzle item, come back out here, use the puzzle item, and then go back in, because it doesn't unlock the next puzzle until you put the thing in. So you can't, like, do all the puzzles and then come back out. That would save time if you could. But you can't. Oh yeah, see, the reason why I'm curving towards that door as well is because of one of those funny doors that breaks if you try and run it straight, you'll just bounce off the thing. If it looks like I'm approaching a door funny, odds are good my movement isn't, like, being wacky. It's because you have to do it, or it just doesn't work properly. Puzzle. The puzzle is the keys that don't make a sound. I hit the wrong key. Genius. There we go. So two things there. The analog stick moves the cursor faster, and secondly, you actually don't want to skip that cutscene immediately, because if you skip it frame 1, it doesn't position Harry correctly. You'll still be facing your original direction. Like, you skip a cutscene so fast the game doesn't, like, do cutscene logic. Alright, so this manipulation's weird. Walk one step, turn light off, run straight for the corner, and just about slip through that guy. Like, he went for it, he tried, but he ate the floor instead. Tight. Turn around, light goes off, slight forward, nudge left, easy peasy. So that one's actually consistent. You have, like, so much breathing room to work with on that one. Because ideally, if things go well, then, you know, shouldn't get hit. For this section, at least. There's actually a different section. There's a different section where I will, like, intentionally take damage because it is quicker. Before strategies like that got found, an ideal speedrun of this actually was no damage. But it's really hard to actually do a proper no damage in this game because it's very, very random. Okay, and that's the light school. Or, like, normal school, I guess. Now, everything gets rusty and all doors are locked. The Silent Hill Special. Although, paradoxically, the Nightmare School is actually, like, less dangerous. There's just less things in it. And the spaces tend to be more wide open. Picture code. We need that later. So there's a guy over there. We don't care about him. We don't care about that guy either. He's no problem. Alright, so this one is one where I just entrust my fate to luck. I just hold forward and hope nothing hits me. Sweet. Alright, take a slight detour here to get the shotgun, because the shotgun is actually the best weapon in the game. There's supposed to be like a third weapon you can acquire, like the rifle. It doesn't do more damage than the shotgun. Not point blank range, anyway. The rifle is better from long range, but we have a shotgun, so no. Cutscene, instantly skip, quick turn away. So I'm doing like this two-finger mash every time I approach doors like this. Silent Hill 1 is a rare PS1 game that has like full custom control settings, which means no two people use like the same button bindings when they play this game. I have like use and skip bound to both triangle and X, so I can like alternate mash them to make the text go quicker. Because of that, there isn't a language version advantage in this game. Japanese and English work out exactly the same. Get this cockroach out of the way. Do a slight walk here to try and adjust the angle. That's right. It is often counterintuitively faster to walk at times in this game to make a sharper turn than it is to just always be running. So this is one of them. It's slightly faster to take a sharper turn around the lockers than it is to run full pelt and take a much wider angle. Another short manipulation here, dip to the right, dip to the left. He wasn't paying attention anyway. He was facing the wall. He was thinking about what he was doing. What was going on in his head? I want to know. Alright, so if I get this right, I can try a stumble cancel. Yes, that's it. So you see, like, when you stop after doing a long run like that, Harry will come to a stop by stumbling, and that's why I compare him to, like, a race car. He needs braking distance. You can't stop on a dime in this game. It doesn't work like that. It's not Resident Evil 2. It's not smooth. But if he stumbles into an item that you can interact with, like a key or something, or like a hole in the ground, as that case is, you can cancel the stumble by examining it. Hence, stumble cancel. Easy. Also, you can't skip this cutscene. I don't know why. It just doesn't let you. You gotta see that very... I mean, some nice animation, I guess. It's like PS1 liquid stuff. They didn't have a lot of that in those days. So that puzzle flushed out a key. You have to examine the hole before, like, Harry understands why he wants to do this. Silent Hill 1, ooh, see that's the kind of RNG I was talking about where the enemy just walked in exactly the wrong place. Fortunately, that doesn't actually do very much damage. But that's an example of how there are no free lunches in this game. That hasn't gone wrong in quite a while, but it figures, right? That's okay. That is of no consequence. Okay, so now we got both the keys. We can progress through to the boss. Although it takes a while to get there. Okay, valve puzzle, you want to line yourself up here to get a good strafe to the second valve. This is the sole version difference between the Japanese and American versions, is that there's like one extra text box here when you do the valves, but it makes like no functional difference. But that's it, that's the one difference, is that there's an extra text box there. Fun facts for you all. Put that on the cutting room floor. Okay, so this is a boss. He can boot me on the snoot and knock me down if he feels like it. That's not ideal, but it happens sometimes. No, he ain't gonna do it. Okay, so 3 shots, then you gotta pause for the first phase, because that's it. That's the whole first phase. The shotgun does so much damage at point blank. 1, 2, dead. That's it. That's the whole boss. That does critical damage if you hit it in the mouth, although if the mouth closes on you, you die instantly. So, like, it's a timing thing. How much damage it does, like, critically is something like 30 times or something if the strategy guide is to be believed, and strategy guide's right about most things. But it doesn't actually give, like, an exact number. It's curiously non-specific about it. You can kill that boss without hitting it in the mouth, like, it does have a set HP value, it's just, like, comically high. So we found out that you could kill that boss normally when we were trying to route katana only, but like not just katana only as movement, because when you attack with the katana, Harry like dashes forward with this like samurai motion. So you like beat the whole game by only swinging the samurai sword, no movement, only samurai. And we were like, but we were getting stuck on that guy because you couldn't kill him by hitting him in the mouth. So we were like, what if we just hit him like a lot elsewhere? Like, does that work? And the answer is yes, it does. Just takes forever is all. But it works. It's like the Boulder variant of knife only. Hanzo steel only. I say knife only in this game actually used to be impossible until a glitch got found, like, a year ago or something. Which I will be doing in this run against my better instinct. Because it's really, really risky and really, really hard. But I'm gonna do it because what is life without spice? Okay, so this guy, he's interested. See, he may not be interested, but he's interested. No, he's got... he got stuck on a wall. They do that sometimes. There's a second guy in this alleyway. Nope, not interested. Doesn't care. Busy inspecting the trash can or something. That's what I mean. Sometimes you just get a free pass on these things, like the enemy just don't pay attention to. So if all goes well, nothing happens. Rather than having to do, like, complex weaving motions to try and shake them off or whatever, I just get to go to church. But I came here for key items. Not for enlightenment. I was here to speed, not to read. More dogs over here, they're just... Yeah, okay, he's doing whatever. So, there's enemies here, are they going to interact with me? No. That's good. It's coming up on Control Room Tower, the room with, like, the negative frame rate, which makes it really, really hard to do precisely. So, have you ever wondered what a cinematic frame rate looked like in this era? It's this. Ugh, that's gross. It's so gross. It's rendering like both the indoor environment and the bridge outside, so it runs at like... I use like an emulator stat to find out it's like below 10 sometimes. It's really bad. But it went well. I moved well. It can go very badly because it's really hard to correct for mistakes because you'll press a button, it'll happen like half a second later in that room. It's very nervous. Okay, so next point of interest, the hospital. A place of nurses and doc blocks. You can take a lot of damage in the hospital if you get unlucky, because like nurse stabs and doctor stabs are respectively like the 2 highest damaging normal enemy attacks in the whole game. I think a doctor stab does like 33% of your health, which is oof. I would prefer not. Okay, there's actually like a side quest sort of thing you can do in the hospital, and we're gonna do it because it's faster, paradoxically. Because this is any percent, which normally you would think mean getting the fastest ending, which you would not intuit to be like not the worst ending. But the worst ending is actually slower because you have to fight an extra boss, and we don't want to fight that extra boss. It's also tied to a cool glitch that I have done so much I actually forget it's a glitch from time to time. But it is. You need to get this plastic bottle, and then pick up this spilled liquid using the bottle. And that's the first half of the side quest done. Now that we've done that, we can get the slightly better than bad ending. Whereas the game calls it bad plus. That allows us to do fun glitches and skip the fights and wildly make Harry ragdoll. It's a treat, remember that. It'll come up again in like 15 minutes. Okay, so you gotta go to floor 2. Door's locked. Whoops, I went to the wrong floor. I'm doing a bit here if you can't tell. Whoops, door's still locked. Still the wrong floor. Floor 4! It appears! Cursed. But you have to do it in that order. Otherwise it doesn't appear. Now you have to specifically touch the door. You can't just go to the floor. You must confirm, yes, these are all locked. Time for obtuse puzzle items. This is a plate of cat. Actually, I think that was turtle. I wasn't paying attention. Either way, what animal it represents is completely irrelevant. We just care about the colors. We also need blood, as one does. Alright, so this is the first instance of randomness. I want to sneak in the corner here. Yes, just about. Just about. If that nurse body blocks you, then you end up in the blender. You don't want to be in the blender. It's bad. Alright. No block. Good start, good start. And now we go to floor 1. You don't go to floor 2 just yet. I think it's actually locked from the other side. I don't remember. I remember that this is faster. Plate of Queen. God save her. This is a British marathon, I'm allowed to do that. They don't let me do that at the American ones. Alright, I gotta get this lighter. Don't block me. Okay, good. Just about slipped through there. Take one step into this room, immediately you can use the blood fight. You don't have to actually get anywhere near the weird tentacle things. So I can get the plate of Hatter. Alright, now we've got all the plates, we can complete the puzzle. And I couldn't actually consciously explain to you what the puzzle here is, I just kind of let muscle memory do it. Like, if you asked me to recite this puzzle to you from memory, I would not be able to do it, but if you put it in front of me, I can do it. Like, things just go in places and then stuff happens, it's good. Easy. Okay, so this is the most significant trick in the hospital, the nurse push. It is called that because you push a nurse. Yes. If you don't push her precisely so, you don't get through, and then you lose like 6 seconds because a dying animation takes like 5 years. That is all well and good. No, she isn't paying attention. That's the last, like, instance of things being able to go, like, crucially wrong with nurse movement, because that last one can block you. This has been a solid hospital. So now we have everything we need, and we can engage the randomly 60 FPS cutscene. I don't know why, the game just suddenly snaps to actually like running at a proper frame rate for this one cutscene. It doesn't do this anywhere else, it's just this cutscene. It does this on I'm playing this on a PS TV, which like if you don't know what that is, I don't blame you. It's like a weird Sony mini console they made in 2012. It plays games off the PlayStation Network, but it does that weird 60 FPS thing even on like original hardware. The only cutscene that does that. Suddenly, smooth fidelity. Get hit the key, don't examine the painting. The picture and the key, the hitboxes overlap. It's really easy to accidentally look at the bedside picture. Okay, on the way out of the hospital, pick up this final box of shotgun shells. We've only picked up 2 boxes of shotgun shells so far, and that's actually it. That's all we're getting the entire run. We don't actually have like a super lenient amount of ammo to work with over this run as a result, but we have like enough. You can miss a few. Oh, hello. I see, that's the dock block. You want to take that angle around the corner there to get in this door. But the doctor can be positioned weirdly to block you from taking that angle, or worse, it can like pincer you between the wall and the door, and then stab you, but like that wasn't so bad. Like, it was not optimal, but I did not get hit, therefore it is fine. So this game is like at the top end down to single seconds of time save, so you need to like go for everything like that. So I do in fact go for everything like that. Okay, so coming up we have the hardest trick in the run, once I make it to the antique shop. It's the Void Walk. It's the only out of bounds in this game, because every Silent Hill game has an out of bounds now, since this one got found a year ago. And it relies on enemies doing the right thing, which makes it difficult. You need to get a romper enemy, which is like these monkey dudes, to jump on top of you as you fall downstairs. So basically you need to cause like a horrific accident. But if you hit the load zone exactly so, it like displaces Harry's position vertically or something, and as a result of that he can just walk straight through the door and out of the map, and then he's floating above the air. So then you can walk across town and completely skip a boss fight and like a minute worth of walking. But it's really difficult to do consistently, which is why I can't do it consistently, which is why I'm still going to do it. There's also like a massive random element to it. Like there are some patterns of enemy movement where it's just like, nope, that was never going to work. Doesn't matter how well I did it. You can get more of them if you're good, but you're never going to get all of them. It just doesn't happen. Now walk here to take the sharper turn. Okay, walk out here, pause. Oh, that looks good, that looks good. Ho ho! First try! Yes! I made that look easy. It ain't. It ain't at all. Okay, so this is Harry, a speck on the distance. As we run across, we are currently floating about, I don't know, like 30 feet off the ground. If you fall too far, you die, but it doesn't matter because there's no fall damage in this game, only fall death. And we're not falling far enough for that to matter because we want to land on top of here, the rooftop, an area you are not supposed to get to at the moment. But we're going to leave the rooftop and suddenly we're going to spawn down here for no adequately disclosed reason. I don't know why it does that. I have no idea. You're supposed to spawn on the staircase, but it just doesn't. So we're at the hospital. That skipped an entire boss fight and like a minute worth of walking. Because normally there's like a boss with a caterpillar dude or something, and then the caterpillar dude morphs into a moth. We're gonna fight the moth, not the caterpillar, thus making this canonically incoherent. Fantastic. The other good thing about getting the out of bounds quickly like that is that you have to get hit to do it, which means if it goes wrong, you lose more health. And eventually you die, because you don't have so much of that. Alright, so this guy, you have to space your shots out properly. Dodge. You can't just, like, rapid fire on him. You gotta wait for, like, his little clench animation to finish before you, like, go ham. He doesn't know where I am. Okay, now he knows where I am. I'll take that hit. I don't mind that hit. I mind that hit, though. Okay, he's dead. Nah, 2 hits is fine. That's no problem at all. Like, you have a great deal of latitude in this run to take hits and still be fine. And with the safety health drain, there's, like, no risk of death at this point. This run's actually been going pretty good. I wasn't counting the shots there, but that felt good, so I don't care. Ideally is 11, 12 is fine too. So now we head to the sewers so we can get to the other side of town. The other side of town. This is the other side of town. The other place we're going is the other side of town. This is the game's nomenclature, not mine. And thankfully the game like spares us the trip of walking like literally halfway across Silent Hill to get here and just teleports us. It's like, oh no, a locked gate. It's like, maybe I can open it if I hit it hard. How does bullet sound? Bullet sounds good. That lock used to be like a massive point of consternation for routing when we still had like the boss that we now skip in it, because you would have like no shotgun bullets left over, so you'd have to swap to a different gun to then shoot the lock. It's like, but we were like, no, this sucks. This is so inefficient. We have to route this out somehow. It's like the big thing is like not swapping to shoot the lock. Also, sewers are random. Hey, we got past that guy. There's 4 dodges we're gonna do here. They're all random. Whether or not these green guys feel like blocking me is completely up to them. I ain't got nothing to do with it. They don't feel like blocking either. Tight. Peace. That's actually pretty good RNG. I feel like I should be like more interested in my pace. So first try out of bounds and like pretty good sewer luck is actually like really looking quite solid. This might be a 30. Ooh, how delightful. Alright, 2 more dodges on the way back. This first guy can never hit you, he just misses. He gives you a haircut. It don't count. Alright, so what's the third guy? What's he up to? He's up to something. He's moving. He's moving. He's grooving. I'm taking the shallow angle. Alright. Sick. Can I bob and weave? Ooh, he's doing stuff. He ain't doing enough stuff. He ain't hitting. No hits. That's really good. That's rare. Like a one-hit sewer is fairly common, and no-hit sewer is not something that comes once every session. This is really good. This is uncommonly good, actually. First try out of bounds in a no-hit sewer. Okay. I'll take it. Like, I have, like, these 6-hour sessions where I cannot, like, buy a no-hit sewers, and I get one in a marathon. Sick. Does cockroaches can pose a problem? I don't gotta worry about that. Alright, is this guy. What's this guy gonna do? Is he gonna join us in the tunnel? No? Okay, bye. You gotta kind of dig your face into the corner there, or Harry will just bounce off the door, and it will be very sad. Okay, light goes off. When I turn the light off like that, the game really is that dark. I can't see what I'm doing either. I just have the layouts memorized. You know what I just said? Ah, too early. That was an attempt at a stumble cancel, that was a bit too early. Woohoo! Blood. That means there's a key here. Oh no, it's spooky. Bye. I'm surrounded. It doesn't matter though. So those guys like chase you back through this section as you run all the way to where you need to use the key on, but like, I'm playing Temple Run over here, they can't stop me. Are they playing Silent Hill? I'm playing Temple Run. Alright, last guy. What's this guy gonna do? He's gonna get clean out of the way. That's fantastic. That's a really good sewers. That's like the perfect kind of luck. Where's that when I'm actually like doing attempts? Come on. That's whack. I'm like equal parts happy and mad. Alright, Light's gotta stay off here though, because Rompers, the monkey type enemies, they're particularly sensitive to the light, and if they like see your flashlight on from like 5 miles away, they will like heat-seeking missile on top of you. And if they hit you, they knock you down for like 5 seconds, so that's not bueno, so I don't want it. There's one guy in the corner over there. We didn't see him. He didn't see us either. If I can't see him, he can't see me. That's not actually how it works, but it's basically good enough. Alright. Now we're in the Nightmare Resort. And again, light has to go off here, so enjoy darkness for a bit. Because once again, there's these monkey enemies out in full force, and if they're even vaguely near me and see a light beam, then oops, everything sucks. Excuse me. Okay, now we're in the clear. Now we can see things again. I lied. No, I didn't. Okay, but I'm actually going to flash it off and on here because there's like a night air screamer. I don't remember the name of this enemy. And they react to the light as well, but you can kind of keep it on and off because they're not like that aggressive. I want to bait this guy away from the staircase. And I want to take a super tight angle here. That'll do. That'll do. Alright, and now the lighthouse run. The lighthouse run has to be done pretty much entirely in the dark through a bunch of really weird narrow spaces because there's lots of monkey enemies and flying dudes, and this guy can hit you even if the light is off. Okay, he didn't hit me. Sometimes that guy just at the foot of the stairs that you didn't even see just starts pre-aggroed for no reason I've ever been able to work out. Like, he's just mad as soon as I get there. And he immediately, like, jumps on you and hits you in the back of the head, and it's like, okay, fantastic. So if this looks hard to do without being able to see it, then correct. Okay, I'm about in the clear now. So it's a dark game. It's a very... Oh, no, no, no. Go away. Good, the door worked. that door's one of the doors that sometimes doesn't work. So now I have to ascend the spiral staircase, because, you know, games with tank controls are very well suited to spiral staircases. A game where you can only move in, like, the cardinal directions. So you have to constantly, like, walk to change your angle, so that, because if you run too long in one direction, you will blat the side of the staircase. Okay, pretty good. Okay, didn't hit the save point. It's really easy to hit the save point on the way out. Doesn't count against your in-game time, because these runs are timed with the in-game clock, but, like, I'm on a schedule here. Actually, on the finale, no, I'm not. Go away. Good. That guy can block you at the top of the stairs. Nice. It's really easy to accidentally, like, bonk nothing walking into that gate. So when I mean nothing, like, Harry will just bonk on thin air, seemingly. There's a certain angle that works. That guy, again, never hits you if you just run straight forward. It looks very scary, but it's all bluff. Alright, so what enemy patterns spawn in this area of the sewers is completely random and also completely irrelevant. I just like observing it. Orange guy. Do we have green guy? We have green guy. Do we have orange guy in this area? No orange guy. No spawn. No orange guy. There can be orange guy and green guy in that tunnel. I've seen both orange and green exactly once. I'm not convinced it wasn't a bug. Alright, time for a glitch. Normally you have to use the red liquid we got earlier on a boss to skip that boss. Instead we're going to use it on this random ghost. This works for reasons I don't understand. Enjoy. Wee. That's a ghost baby. That's not the boss. It's just a random thing. It can't even attack you.
Sybil. Wake up. Snap out of it. Sybil. What happened? Shh. Don't talk. I'll take care of it.
He'll take care of you. That's the end of that. That's the end of the glitch. I don't know why that works. It doesn't work in the PAL version of the game. It works on the American and Japanese versions. And only the first print of the Japanese version. It was fixed on a later print. Fascinatingly, the exact nature of Harry's, like, T-posing, ragdolling shenanigans is different depending on what hardware you play the game on. You get different results if you play it on a PS TV versus if you play it on a console versus if you play it on a different kind of console. You get different flailing. Makes no difference to the nature of the glitch. Like, that's a cutscene that you can actually technically skip, but I let it play out because of course I did. Why would I not? What we need to know is that enemy lets you skip an entire boss as well. So we save more and more ammo for the end of the game. Since there's actually only one enemy left in the game, we're gonna... No, two. I'm wrong. You kill another standard enemy. Yeah, there are, like, 2 non-boss enemies you kill in this game. Can't use it here. The worst. When you're, like, 2 feet too far and it goes, like, you can't use that here, despite this room existing for the sole purpose of using that item in this place. There's nothing else in here besides the thing that you use the pliers on. What do you mean I can't use that here? This is the only place it can be used. Time for a puzzle. A real brain teaser. The zodiac signs are irrelevant. It's the number of limbs. That's it. So how many limbs does this thing have? 4. It's 2 people. It's got 8. That's it. That's the relevance. But it's all like zodiac signs, and it's like a massive red herring. It's just count how many limbs. Another puzzle. No. No. My kingdom for a mouse. You need to type alert on that keypad. The solution to that one's actually given to you like 20 minutes earlier. Okay, so we're gonna strafe away from the door here. Get back to where we're going because turning doesn't look silly enough. Stone of Time, as one does. Oi, everyone, it's 7 bong! Nah, mate, it's no bong. Pigpen's broken. Alright, to the top floor. I really hope I remember the solution to this puzzle. This is another one of those puzzle solutions where I can't explain it to you, but I can do it. Okay, I remember. I'm not worried anymore. I have like a sticky note with this puzzle solution taped to my monitor at home because I just, like, if I don't play for long enough, this is the puzzle I forget. I'm not even joking. So I had a mate over and they were like, what's that? And I was like, oh, it's a puzzle solution to Silent Hill 1. And they were like, why is that duct taped to your monitor? I was like, because reasons. That's why. Ha, rifle ammo. We don't need it. Yeah, so the rifle is actually in one of the boss arenas that we didn't go into because we skipped it. So that's another reason we don't use the rifle anymore. We don't enter the room where it is. But it quickly turned out to be totally unnecessary anyway. So that's nice. Get more keys to open more doors, as one does. Right, in this room we start to... What do you mean it's locked? I have the key. Open it. How dare you? Okay. So, okay, in that room, a new enemy comes to play, which is the invisible ghost baby thing. It has a name, it's called a lava stalker. But yeah, they're enemies, they're ghost babies, you can't really see them, which makes dodging them a ton of fun. And again, it's one of those things where if everything goes well, you won't understand what you're even looking at, because, like, there's an enemy in the middle of the hallway. You can't really see it. It's there. I promise you it's there. You must open jelly beans. And Harry, he can't open jelly beans. They just go everywhere. But he finds a key instead. Get this random knick-knack. Again, avoid the enemy in the center of the room that you can't see at all. Alright, so this is the dodge that never works. Turn left, wait a beat, run forward. The dodge that never works worked! It's more like a 50-50. Like, the chances of getting that used to be really, really, like, astronomically, hilariously low. But that setup that I do is like 50-50 odds, so its status as the dodge that never works is probably unwarranted at this point in time. This is the funny thing about legacy trick names. Dodge the invisible guy, and I did not get hit in nowhere, and as a result of that, no one saw a single thing. But those were enemies I was dodging. Oh dear, the worst enemy in the game, the chair. I got stuck on a chair. More dangerous than any enemy. Furniture. Alright, now we gotta use keys to open doors, except they're all bizarre things. These Silent Hill games. You can't just use... Like, this was before the combine function was invented, unfortunately, so we have to use them one at a time. Okay, so we're gonna take 4 paces forward and then wait. Because if you want to do critical hit damage, you have to stand at a certain distance and wait for a certain time. You don't go too far forward, though, because there's an invisible wall. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, time. That's the game. That was a good run. I actually really want to see what my IGT was there, because that went really well. That's either gonna be... I think that's close to PB. I really do. It actually has a pretty good chance of, like, being an actual PB. If that happens, I'm gonna break something. But yeah, if you wait for the final boss to start their, like, charging lightning phase, you can do 10 times more damage, according to the strategy guide. That's a thing we didn't know about until I bought the strategy guide and translated it out. Which is funny because that strategy guide is from the 90s, so like the Japanese have known forever, but just that knowledge never made it across to the Western-speaking world until a dumb weeaboo bought a Japanese strategy guide. It's like, really, this works? And it's like, oh, that makes everything way more consistent. PS1 slap. See, the bad plus ending, she's still alive. She's the boss that we skipped by saving her, by sprinkling the red liquid on her, except we didn't sprinkle it on her, we sprinkled it on a baby. Well, I mean, it works out the same, so... Bad plus ending, success. Alright, what's my IGT? If this is a 30, it'll be good. 30:47, that's good. That's a good time. That's a very good time. There are precisely 3 people who run this game who